Alright, for today's lesson, we're going to be talking about literal equations. Now, literal equations occur when you are asked to solve the equation for a given variable. So, most of the equations that you've done so far, you've been asked to solve for a variable x, t, m, whatever it may be, and you're actually finding the value of that unknown variable. Literal equations are different because they're asking you to rearrange the equation. So we're still going to use the same process. We're still going to isolate that variable or get that variable by itself, but we're going to rearrange the other parts using those same inverse operations. So again, if we have addition, we're going to do subtraction. If we have subtraction, we're going to do addition. If we have multiplication, we're going to do a division. If we have division, we're going to do multiplication. So the key thing here is identifying which variable you're trying to get by itself, which variable you want to solve for. So in looking at example 1, it says solve for b. So when I do these types of literal equations, I like to circle the variable that I'm solving for. Therefore, I know everything else has to move away from that equation or from that variable. So I'm looking at this equation. I have a times b minus c equals d. So you're asking yourself, what piece do I need to move first? So when I'm looking at the problem, I have a times b. So I can't do anything with the a yet because I have that minus c. I have to, just like if I were solving those two-step or multi-step equations, if this was a number right here with that minus c, I would add that number first. I would do that inverse operation. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to add c to the other side. Now, in doing that, it has now caused my c value to be on the right side of the equal sign, which is what we want to happen because we're trying to get b by itself. So I can't add c and d together because they're just letters, they're not numbers. So we're going to write d plus c. So again, I'm going to continue to circle the variable that I want to solve for, which is b. And now I need to move the a variable. So in order to move that a, I have a times b, so we're going to do the inverse, which is divide. So when I divide by a, I got to make sure I divide the whole right side by a. So I'm going to cancel that, and that leaves me b equals d plus c divided by a. Now, again, I didn't actually find an exact answer or exact number value for b. All I did was rearrange my equation so that my variable that I wanted to solve for was isolated, which means it was by itself. So again, you're rearranging, okay? So for this next problem, we're solving for d this time. Now, the most common mistake I see students make is they want to try to do something with that b value first. But the whole problem, the whole b plus d is being divided by c. So this is one of those situations where I would multiply by c first and get rid of that denominator because I can't move the b or the d until the denominator is out of the left side. So I have b plus d, and then 2 times c is going to be 2c. Again, we're solving for d. So I'm going to subtract b now because that b is positive. And that's going to leave me with d equals 2c minus b. So literal equations are simply rearranging your problem so that you're isolating one particular variable that you would like to use later, particularly if it's for a formula or anything like that.